forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Rival South Asian Championship powered by LG UltraGear. And today we have an amazing match between the second seeds of the Mountain Clan and the Cloud Clan. On the left side, we have Super 6, and on the right side, we have Infernal Gaming from Bangladesh. Joined with me today is my amazing co caster, Apollonia. Apollonia, are you excited for the matchup today?
Yes, I am Bishi. That was a great intro. Very excited to be back here again to cast this game, especially. We know that Infernal Gaming is part of the Air Clan, and Super Six is part of the Mountain Clan. So Air versus Mountain. I don't know who. I don't know that matchup. Like fire and water would win, but
I mean,
Air and
I
Mountain.
don't think air can move mountains, because the
Yeah, that's
mountains are
true.
strong. So will we see that hypothetical? Perhaps could play out. But what are your thoughts on Super 6, Apollonia? Because they have been unbeaten so far. They played a couple of matches on Sunday. They very convincingly won them. Could this just be another sweep for Mountain Clan coming in? Or do you feel Infernal Gaming and with their players, do you think they have what it takes to finally, blow past these mountains?
I think I'm just gonna be straight up and say that my money is on Super Six. Super Six has proven to be a very good team. With the new lineup, they're like constantly working things out, but you see their team work just improve more and more as the game progresses. And we do see here that they might actually take this Senna first pick. Senna, one of the new champions coming out, a very interactive kit that she has, and it is not, it is on. So I
Yeah.
like this. It's a safe pick, in the top lane. That's
Very,
on.
very comfortable Asuran on that on pickup. What I am really bamboozled by Apollonia is the fact that for two games, that mid laner, the great one, Kaka, has picked Talia and had insane carry performances, and yet again, that champion has not been banned against him. And will this be 3 and 0 for Kaka? Because he had like double digit kills and assists in those first games. And I'm just wondering, like, what Infernal, do they have a plan for this roaming mid laner? Because they have picked themselves a Mordekaiser, which honestly is a very, very good pickup into the Ornn. Can dish out a lot of damage with, his abilities. And on will obviously be more useful in team play. So I like that in full game have responded, and that's gonna be a blind mid lane pickup. It's gonna be the Vigar. So both solo laners have been picked up, and that's very interesting to see. Generally on red side, we notice that the solo lane picks are usually reserved for the last two picks, but it looks like Infernal Gaming have some other game plan as they have just picked up right up in the first two picks.
Yes, I like how Infernal Gaming they chose their Mordekaiser pick, which was a counter pick, and it's a very basic strategy, but it's great when teams do this. However, the Vega pick, I don't know about that, but it's probably because it must be a comfort champion for their mid laner. We see the Pike coming out. I think they want to just grab onto that Pike. He has great damage. He has a great kit. You can catch and you can escape. Pike is just overall a really good support pick right now, and that is the LeBlanc. So it looks like the mid laner Kaka, he's the great one. He will be on this LeBlanc pick. He is insane. He has insane mechanics on LeBlanc. I can't wait to watch what he
Yeah,
pulls
yeah,
out.
he's definitely the best LeBlanc in South Asia, I would say, and like I really like his name, the Great One. It makes him sound so cool when you say it. And there's gonna be an Olaf pickup coming from Infernal Gaming, so definitely having picked a jungler will look to ban it out. Olaf is extremely strong in the 1v1s in the early game. Not a lot of junglers can go toe to toe with them, but that Pike pickup is very interesting. They really want to be able to catch people off with the roaming Pike and the LeBlanc, and Veigar will have his work cut out for him because he's gonna be up against an assassin in the mid lane and a roaming assassin support and an on who's gonna ult on his face. So I'm really worried about the Vigar, even though he has a cage, a really good disengage. It might be difficult for him to be able to survive these sort of onslaught. And Super Six, rightly like you discussed, have a very coordinated team. They have been practicing a lot, and they just look better and better with each game. And what do you feel right now with the picks remaining up? The AD carry pickups have been left for both the teams, and you can see already the Zaya getting banned out from Captain Kirk. What do you think Super Six needs to round off this composition? Because they have assassins, they have roamers, but what else do you feel they need to be able to round out this composition? And similarly, even for Infernal Gaming.
Well, I think Infernal Gaming, the smart choice was to ban out that Zaya. Now, for Super 6, they gotta have an AD carry that is pretty much self-sufficient. An AD carry that won't get run down by the Mordekaiser and Olaf. An AD carry that's mobile enough to dodge that Vega cage, as well as dish out good DPS. So something, I would like to see something that's not so bursty, because it's going to be hard fighting against that Olaf, especially that Olaf pick is just so good coming from Infernal Gaming. But of course, getting into the game and how you execute it, that also matters. We see the Thresh. I think it's going to be a case of a skill matchup in the bot lane, the Thresh and the Pike.
Yeah, I really like the Thresh pickup though, because it allows them to disengage against an assassin, even for the Veigar or for the Mordekaiser who's gonna go in. Having a Thresh just to lantern him out is gonna be really good. And then you can see Kirk picks up his famous Kaiser. He's known to carry these games on that Kaiser pickup. Really happy to take it, and it looks like Infernal were waiting for their grand red side pickup to get a counter pick AD, which is quite funny unless I decide to go mage bot for some reason. But I'm not sure if they use it that well. That's going to be the Mundo jungle coming out right now. Super 6 have been playing this a lot recently in the normal games. We've seen them. And that's a really strong pickup because that gives them a very strong front line with the Ornn and the Mundo coming onto you. There's not a lot that you can do to mitigate damage. Yeah, Mordekaiser can do well. Veigar has burst, but not enough damage to be able to kill off these tanks. So I feel that's a really strong pickup, and they need a hyper carry ADC right now to be able to dish out damage. Could this be the Vayne, the Tristana? Could this be the Xayah? The Xayah's banned out, never mind. It's going to be the Tristana eventually. So that does round up the composition. Now that these have been locked down, I'm just wondering, alright, like Super 6 definitely have a lot of tankiness and assassination potential, but more zoning potential on the side of Red Infernal Gaming with the Veigar and the Mordekaiser. So, what are your thoughts now that both the teams have been drafted Apollonia?
I'm very torn between both the teams. So you see, Super 6, I kind of understand what they're going for. Mundo will take care of himself in the top lane. Wait, that's an on jungle? Is that actually a thing? Wait, what?
On jungle can be a thing, but I highly doubt that's going to be on jungle, unless of course Super 6 decides to bamboozle us. And honestly, with all the Mountain Clan teams, they have the ability to confuse us at every single point in time. So I would not be that surprised if it is. But you know what? I'm just gonna wait. 3, 2, 1 on. You know what? That's actually an Ornn jungle. I feel that's the first Ornn jungle that we have seen in our region for the longest time. And my lord, Super 6 is just pulling out stops here and there. And the Mundo against the Mordekaiser, honestly, I'm not sure. That's probably a worse matchup for the Mundo. So I'm not sure why the reasoning was. Ornn probably does better into the Mordekaiser, but uh, a flex for the sake of a flex, I'm not sure how that benefits anyone except for the fact that Olaf has more free reign, unless of course the Ornn can do something here. But again, both tank junglers will not be able to survive the early game onslaught coming out from Red Corsair. And yeah, like really surprising to come to see it happen. But who do you have to give an advantage in terms of draft? Or what do you think each composition strengths are in what they want to play against Apollonia? Because it looks like both the teams have a specific plan of action in mind heading into it.
Alright, so I'll start with Super 6. This team comp looks really good if they pop off in the early game. If Pike gets a few kills or assists under his belt, as well as LeBlanc, can you just imagine the early game pressure from the LeBlanc and Pike? And then when it transitions into late game, you have Ornn and Mundo in the front line, a LeBlanc to assassinate on the side, Pike probably to, peel. The peel will also come from Ornn and Mundo, and Kai'Sa is just hitting in the back. I feel that's what their plan is, but I don't think it will go all that well if they don't have that early game lead. But this on jungle is going to surprise us 100%. As for Infernal Gaming, very standard. I like the picks. They're not very strong early game. I would say that if Olaf and Thresh can look for some sick invades or like duo ganks, that's going to be really good for them. They take a while to scale, but when they do scale, that Tristana and Vega, it's going to be insane. So this game, I can't wait to watch. I have to see how the early game turns out. And I think that pretty much determines everything.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, honestly. The fact that they have, like, the way you explained that was very well, because they have the early game with the Pike and the LeBlanc to roam around. In the late game, you have the Kai'Sa for the damage, and you have two extremely strong front lines that can do a lot of tanking for the team. On the Infernal gaming side, like you have a Mordekaiser who will mostly want to split and see what he can do, and Olaf again who can be somewhat of a meat shield for his team, but apart from that, not really a lot of tankiness, more disengaged than anything else, and it really depends a lot on how Shiki on that Tristana might do things. And wait, that could just be a Tristana mid because that's Shiki playing and he's a mid laner for Infernal Gaming. I just realized that, oops. And that just could be the Veigar bot into the Kaisa Apollonia, and that certainly changes things completely. Now we were all planning about how the Veigar is going to have a difficult time, but what if that's just the Tristana going mid? Because that matchup is not that bad for the Tristana at all. She has range, she can farm out, has wave clear, and can dish out a lot of damage too. And suddenly, like, we're looking at a very different lane in the mid lane, and very exciting indeed, because that does mean that we are in it for a cracking game. Remember, guys, this is the South Asian Rift Rivals Championship powered by LG, UltraGear, Zotac, and Act Fibernet. You're watching this game with me, casted by me and Apollonia. And Apollonia, like, what is happening here? A lot of different things that we're seeing, and not really sure how it'll end up playing out. Like, what are your thoughts on that? The Shana mid and the Veigar bot.
Tristana mid and the Vega bot. I like it. I like it when I see something new, something fresh, and when teams experiment. That's very exciting for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Super Six. I always want to see, if they improve on their teamwork and if they keep up to their own kind of high expectations. But this from Infernal Gaming, I didn't see coming, and everyone's skins are looking sick. It is just gonna be insane. Especially that Vega has Glacial Augment, Olaf with the Conqueror, Mordekaiser with the Conqueror. I like it. They're gonna go ham. They have some sort of strategy here. So I think we shouldn't make any assumptions because I know we're not gonna expect what's gonna happen this game.
Yeah, and I feel the biggest difference between the two teams is honestly at this point I've not seen much of Infernal gaming. However, I feel that the skill level of these laners, we constantly keep talking about Kirk and Kaka. Since the last 2 or 3 years, Kirk and Kaka have been a part of the same team, have been winning so many tournaments, and are just veterans who are super consistent in their gameplay. On the other side over, you have Shiki, who has been one of Bangladesh's best mid laners. You also have Rampage, who's played competitively for as long as I have probably been in the scene. Cool Dude, or Big Chungus Dude as he's called, another great support player. So this is a roster of a lot of talent, but do they have the teamwork that Super 6 are known for to be able to match up is what we really have to see. As we do have a quick pause in coming up, and it looks like there's some reconnects happening. There wouldn't be a LOL India scene or a LOL South Asia scene without a couple of pauses, right?
Yes, indeed. The net issues and all that. It's very unfortunate, but no matter how many times it happens, everybody is still determined to join the tournaments and play, and I think that's what's really great about it. And yeah, like you mentioned, uh, it's kind of new as well for me to see Infernal gaming. All the more why I'm so excited, but it's gonna be new. We're gonna start. We're gonna be able to learn what their patterns are, what the team strategy is, if they do have one or if they don't, and yeah, I would like to see how they play around the Vega and the Tristana, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
a
mainly
lot
the
of
Tristana actually.
yeah, mainly the Tristana. If Shiki is able to keep Kaka in lane and do well, I think that's going to be a good start for Infernal Gaming, because with the Veigar scaling, right, he has the potential to one shot. If not one shot, if someone lands in a cage, that's pretty much someone being dead. The Tristana also has enough damage, so there's definitely no lack of damage on the side of Infernal Gaming. It's just whether they get massively overhauled by these front lines and the Ornal. So if they're able to survive that initial engage, I actually see Infernal Gaming's composition do really well into it, and it really depends on execution, and that's what all games. So as you see already, a nice ward being put on the red side of the map. It's going to be on the Raptor side, so that's going to be Shiki taking some poke already, and he's going to be in trouble because that's 3 people, and that's a flash being blown at 1.5 minutes. An advantage already going to Super 6 right there.
Ooh, that early burn on Flash. Tristana's not going to be able to have that early presence. Flash is so important, especially if you want to get first blood. It's a team 5, it's a 5v5, so summoners matter so much more. And knowing Super 6, they will have that on timer. They will have that on check.
Yep,
They will
5
know
minutes and
when it
20
comes back.
seconds for the flash, but I think Tristana is one of those champs that can still survive because she has a jump for herself. So probably a good advantage, but not that game breaking. We'll have to see if I think Kachik is just gonna farm up on right as an on jungle. I don't even know how it works. My guess is that you just farm to 6 and then you just go and ult people and kill them once you get level 6. And you can see already Apollonia the Olaf is going for a red side invade, but very, very smartly enough, King realizes that and backs off. And both a very good response coming from Super 6, right? They noticed that the gank was about to happen, the invade was about to happen, and they prevent that and they sort of waste Olaf's time right now.
Yes, this on, one thing we can't forget is that On and LeBlanc, they both have gap closers, and I think if played right, especially with the stun in LeBlanc's kit, is going to be good. That was a nice bit of harass from the Thresh. Did you see that whip?
Yeah.
And because of that passive, that damage, I like the way Big Chungus is playing Thresh right now. He definitely is asserting some form of dominance in the bottom lane. The CS, everything is looking fine. It's too early to tell. And
Yeah.
looking at the junglers pathing, they're like completely on the opposite sides from where they started, and we'll see. We'll see where they intend to go and if they're going to be able to make that first gank happen.
I just feel bad. The Veiga's not having a great time CSing. Honestly, I saw him miss around 3 or 4, but hopefully he picks that up. And I feel in this game, Asuran does not win this matchup, and the fact that he's out trading a Mordekaiser is really good for him because he's taking the grass stage perfectly on that champion. Now he's asserting even more dominance. So Rampage probably does not realize the amount of damage Mundo can also do with grass toss. Meanwhile, level 3 on both the sides, does land, but you can see the cage also being useful. There is no shield, but he does survive. That will be first blood going over to Captain Kirk, just a 2v2 outplay. The fact that they do not have a heal ends up hurting them, and that's just gonna be a first blood going over to Super 6.
That
Doesn't
was
stop.
insane.
Like,
Ooh, another
it just does
engage.
not stop. They have to run away again, and just so much damage being put. The Presty attack as well, and that's going to be a kill with the W. So Captain Kirk going ham in the mid lane, and Super 6 suddenly out of nowhere get 2 kills.
Wow, that was a brilliant finish. The W from Captain Kirk. That was mad. You see, basically Thresh made a mistake, and in good old Super 6 fashion, they abused it. They saw it, they found the opportunity, and that was just 2 kills straight for them.
Yeah,
2k gold lead. It's perfect right now.
Yeah, it's almost as if they realized, you know what, we just went level 3, let's go. And they did. And they had so much knowledge about their own damage as well as the enemy damage that they felt confident to take that trade. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Great One does a nice jump and Shiki could be in trouble. In fact, he's the one who gets caught out, and the fact that he does not have flash might hurt him, but he will survive. But look at this King right there doing so much damage. He will die. No, he won't. Yes, he does. It's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, and the Great One has to back off right there. But that's going to be Shiki also going down, and the kill goes over to the Olaf.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that was a great roam actually. I think Thresh was just a bit too slow, but that was a good counter attack. I mean, 1-for-1, that's fine because Super 6 loses the support, but they did take the mid laner instead, and I think that's really worth.
That's definitely worth for them, and the fact that there's no barrier as well, and the fact that the Great One still has his flash is still looking well. That flash actually did end up paying off for them. So the fact that King came mid and made that gank happen is really good. And Super 6, we discussed this, right? More team up on their side. I have to interrupt myself because there's going to be a top lane fight. Rampage versus Asuran, and he gets the solo kill. The power of that Mordekaiser with full stat Conqueror hits Asuran right there. He blows his flash, dies in the process, was waiting for Kachik to help him out, but he came a bit too late right there, and that's advantage going to the top lane.
I'm actually shocked at how Kachik is able to farm on that on jungle. Apparently it's not too bad. And in the top lane, Asuran, big misplay. And for a Mordekaiser to be able to get that 1 kill a hit, now he has a blasting wand and an amplifying tome. That's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna have enough damage to actually kill Mundo once his ult is down. Or if Mundo really messes up, it's just going to be a straight up kill with just maybe a little bit of assistance from
Yeah,
Olaf.
and he chooses to go for a Bami Cinder instead of maybe getting some MR for that. So definitely not respecting Mordekaiser's damage even further, which I think might not be the best thing for them to do. Oh, Red Corsair could be in trouble. Here comes LeBlanc. You talked about this guy roaming. Yes, the duo roaming bot lane combination. But that's not going to be enough. But here comes Kaisa as well. It's a nice ultimate. They could almost get a kill back for themselves. In fact, they do. And Shiki has to be careful because here comes a kill. And Kirk is just completely zoned out by being in the blue buff. This is not a fight going in favor of Super 6. And the Great One could be in trouble. Here comes Shiki again. It's a lot of damage. He will survive barely. Captain Kirk in 1v3. Can he make a super play happen? Yes, he can. Gets a kill for himself. Can this be responded to? Yeah, I'm not sure if it can. There's no mana on the Viger. That's just going to be an instant kill coming out in Super 6. Come out ahead with a 3-for-1 at the end of the day. Lack of mana really hurting the Viger there, and Super 6 just playing it really well.
Oh, that was a big victory for Super 6. Now that Kaisa 401, 400 gold shut down. She has a BF sword right now. That is
the
insane.
top lane again. This could be a chance for him to ult. Why does he not ult? He could have killed the guy. He does not have flash. But he does not decide to do so. A lot of advantage going on to the Mordekaiser, but the fact that the mid lane and Kirk is 4-0, goes in 1v3, survives and gets out. It's not looking good when the main carry of Super 6, known to be that ADC, has gotten himself 4 kills on the board.
Exactly, and I think Vega is losing out on a very substantial amount of CS. It's not good for him. Especially, he's the type of champ that needs to stack. He needs those kills on the minions, and he needs to be harassing his opponents in lane. Olaf clearing his jungle, doing what he can, and we see the bottom lane looking for something to do, not too sure. And now that League has changed so much with the different dragons, it has become an even bigger priority than what League was before. So this Cloud Drake is going to help the teams immensely when it comes to like the durability in game. So I really do hope to see some control going towards the dragon right now.
Yeah, I really like the changes to Cloud Drake. The fact that you get 10% cooldown ultimate is so useful for so many of these champions looking to get their resets. And I feel this is just going to be a jump onto Shiki, but a trade which pretty much goes even, mind you. So Tristana does have a lot of lifesteal, so these small trades will actually work in his favor, in her favor rather, because she'll be able to lifesteal a lot of it. And Rampage, after that first blood, is just farming, and top lane just seems to be the island that it is known to be at this point. But what do you think are the next moves, for both the teams? Where do you think you should focus? Never mind, bot lane was the move decided, and Veigar is the one that goes in, and Veigar will survive to the Lantern. So that's the usefulness of the Thresh that we discussed, and that's the first on ult not going as well as expected.
That was a good attempt, but kind of a waste. But I think they're actually doing this to get that control over the dragon. So this is great, More of Super 6's vision is on the bottom side of the map, and we can see the Olaf is going in for a sneaky Rift Herald, but that will be the Cloud Drake to Super 6. Brilliant. And now Olaf is trying to do a 1-for-1 trade and try to secure that Rift Herald for his team, Infernal Gaming.
Yeah, that's honestly the least that you should do. At least they identified that, so good on Infernal Games. Remember guys, this is the top 2 teams from their respective regions, and they understand when objectives have to be traded. But you know what guys, when Super 6 know what you're doing as well, life is difficult, because what you're gonna do right now, and look at that, just get bursted out of nowhere. Who's going to die first? Something you have to see. What is Rampage doing? Use your damn ult. He does it and he dies, and it's a waste. And Super 6 completely roll over this fight, even get the Herald for themselves, and things just go from bad to worse. And Infernal Gaming look to lose 3 for the site of 1, lose the Herald, lose the Flash, and just about lose the game for themselves.
Wow, they didn't have the priority there. Super 6 managed to close down on Infernal Gaming so quick and even steal that Rift Herald. Now they've popped it in mid. It looks like they want to go for the plates. Everybody is just gathered. This is not actually looking good for Infernal Gaming. Super 6 got that lead that they wanted. Remember, the LeBlanc lead and the bot lane lead, specifically with Pipe. The on jungle is doing exceptionally good. 6 kill participation. That's actually really working out. This pocket pick actually worked.
I mean, it honestly is like a team effort when you have Super 6 being the first on rotations and Infernal Gaming just not knowing how to respond. It just, the difference in the macro or the rotation these teams is showing like night and day. And I just feel that the Vega pickup also just not working out when your enemy gets, 5 kills. And the carries of Super 6 have all the kills. That's the best thing you could ask for when you're playing a team comp like that. When your LeBlanc has 3 kills, when your Kaisa has 5 kills, that's exactly what you're looking to get out of this explosive early game for them. And I think this is gonna be a textbook Super 6 kind of a game, it looks like, because unless Rampage or unless Infernal Gaming pull out a stop or Super 6 makes a grave mistake, I see this is gonna be a complete stomp, it looks like. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens, as a mid lane gank from King barely gets evaded by Shiki in the mid lane either, and it's just the potential that Infernal Gaming have Apollonia is sadly just not being able to live up, and they're just getting steamrolled in the early game.
Yeah, and I think it's not too bad. They're trying to pick up the pieces. They're still trying to do something. They've not completely retreated in, and it's great that they prevented that Rift Terror from getting more than just 2 plates. So that's good for them. The goal gap is though pretty huge, 6K, but I always hope that things are comebackable. And I want to see Infernal really do their best and try their hardest, kind of show off a little bit of what their teamwork is about.
Yeah, it's 12.5 minutes in the game with around 5,500 goal lead. We definitely love a more exciting game, but I feel Super 6 might, like you said, you put your money on Super 6 Apollonia, I think you put your money in the right place, because you're gonna make bank if this was a betting game, but sadly enough, it's not. And Red Corsair is stuck in his own jungle. Lantern has to be used, survives, and barely was able to make out, like survive right there. So his own blue buff is out of limits, and Super 6 just taking the advantage. You give them a finger and they will take your whole hand. That's exactly what's happening, as a great one looks to get not only his own blue buff but the enemy blue buff as well. And Big Chungus dude might be in trouble right now. Couldn't be look to zone out right now. It's a nice hook to prevent the on ult from landing, but when you are in a 4 for 2, just how much can you do when Super 6 dive your tower, hit the turret, and you will lose 2 kills again. That's gonna be a 2 for 0, and Kaisa is the recipient of both these kills.
Wow, that was such quick follow-up. We just saw King out of nowhere slither his way in, and Kaisa with the aggressive ulti. That's just Super 6 at their best. And
In the mid lane though, you see a fight happening. I don't know who wins this, honestly. The healing from Asuran is insane. The Qs from the Mundo are also insane. And somehow both of them survive without blowing anything but their ultimates. And not bad considering he had 0 armor. That he was able to
I
survive
actually
that.
wish that Mundo actually committed to that, because even if Tristana had blown him away, he could have caught up with his cleavers. So I think he was kind of unsure, but at least he didn't trade himself. Like it's not a 0 for 1, so I think they just kind of want to play it safe there.
Yeah, the only lane right now that is doing well, or I would say rather doing even, would be their top lane. Even in a 7k gold deficit, it's Mordekaiser with his finished item that is a little bit ahead of the Mundo. I think it's time for Infernal to start grouping and seeing if they can do something, or just try to farm out and not get caught out. But it doesn't look like that's happening, as the second dragon also goes over Apollonia. It might be the Infernal or the Mountain as the third drake. Which one would it be? It's gonna be the Mountain. So the Mountain is a soul that will need to be acquired, and that's a really OP soul. I honestly think Mountain soul and the fact that it gives you a shield is one of the most broken souls out there. I'm not sure about the rest, but I still feel Mountain soul is one of the most strongest souls you can get in the game.
Yeah, now we got the extra terrain and everything.
Yeah,
I like it. I really love this new addition where the elements changes up the map. Now it increases more of the different probabilities and how this can you imagine a cane with mountain terrain? That's gonna be just mad.
Yeah, it's gonna have
It would be
or a
great.
Camille for that matter. Just jump through walls, like there's walls everywhere.
Exactly.
So there's
Yeah.
a small rotation happening. Infernal Gaming sends their Veigar to the mid lane, his original place of being, and Tristana goes bot. So they're trying to just do damage limitation at this point. But when you're 7,000 gold behind at 15 minutes, I'm not sure how much damage they can control anymore, because all the damage is honestly done at this point. And the next objective, what will it be for Super 6? Are they targeting the mid lane tower, or is it going to be LeBlanc going in the top lane and trying to 1v1 the Mordekaiser?
At this point, I feel that Super Six is gonna keep. They're gonna keep their 4-1 strategy, especially with the Rift Herald coming up. They're probably going to take top and mid. They're going to want to play around that objective. That it's going to be very classic Super Six. So we already can see them hovering around the top side. I think that's going to be the plan that they're going to put into action. With the Kai'Sa, two completed items, which is Guinsoo and Stormrazor. That's just mad. She's going to take down towers like that. It does not look bright for Infernal Gaming. I'm trying to put it in the nicest way possible, but I think Super 6, they've pretty much got like 80% of control in this game right now.
It definitely does, and it just speaks to the strength of these teams. Remember, guys, this is the number 2 seed team. Storm Raiders haven't played yet. The regional strength of the Mountain Clan really showing up huge as they look to remain undefeated. And the top 3 are almost like equal, I would say, in terms of skill level. It's just like because when the qualifiers happened, all these teams went 1 and 2, right? It's not like there was a stomp in any way. So the fact that these 3 teams are equal means a lot of strength for Infernal, for the Mountain Clan. And you can see the Great One gets ulted. I'm not sure he will dive under tower though. So Rampage does use his ult finally in 16 minutes of the game, but it goes to Vayne as the Corsair just jumps in for Kachi. Kachi has to flash, kind of fails it, and this could be a kill coming out. And the E also gets failed. A couple of misplays happening right there. Infernal get a kill back, but is that going to be good? Is something we have to see. Oh, this could be, it's a double kill, but here comes Kai'Sa, fed as hell, 5-0. Oh, the is actually not going in favor, and Red Corsair with the carry performance gets himself a triple kill, and the Olaf just gets 3 kills out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, remember how I just said 80% is in Super 6's hand? Looks like we saw the 20% that was in Infernal Gaming's side. Oh my goodness, that was great by them. You see, this is the Olaf. Oh, and we see LeBlanc coming in.
She gets stunned up right now, has to run away. That's it for the gank, and was not able to dish out enough damage, sadly. I thought he would be able to do more. But very rightly said, like that 20% was, I feel, granted to Infernal Gaming by the on plays, but that's still not sure how big of an effect has had. What is Vigar doing? Who will zone for him? His own cage will, or the third lantern comes into play. So the fact that Red Corsair has picked up 3 kills, Bangladesh's team, Infernal Gaming, finally have a small positive momentum swing going for them, and that matters a lot, right? In games, when you get these couple of kills or an objective, you suddenly feel good about yourself, and you feel, okay, you know what, it's possible to do more.
Yeah, I feel that Tristana and Mordekaiser, they're doing their best trying to get what they can, because at this point Vega is really behind in terms of CS items, everything. It's just not going great for him. But slowly he will scale if they can drag, if Infernal Gaming can drag this game out long enough. I think there might be a chance, and that's a hook landing onto the pipe.
There's also an on art, and Big Changasu could be dead. It's a nice this thing, but Shiki also trying to do a lot. Look at the damage. This is not looking good. They have to surrender the mid lane tower, and that's just gonna be just the strength of it. I have to point this out, Apollonia. The goal lead between the bot lane Kai'Sa and the Vigar is 5,000. Almost entirely the goal lead that Super 6 has is in the hands of the AD carry and the bot lane difference. That's how behind the Vigar is at this point. The support from Super 6 is a 1300 goal ahead. The Vigars really has been shut down this game.
Exactly, so you know what that means? Infernal Gaming has to focus Kirk, or they are goners, and we see the Olaf popping the ulti, running them down the river. Is he going to be able to catch up?
There is a flash on the Mundo, there is an ult on the Mundo that has been used, a nice 2-man gang, but when you see Infernal, typical BD fashion, go as 5 and kill people is the plan, but King, you know what, gets a kill back for himself, and that's honestly great because they get the jungler. So both the teams have lost the jungler, which means the dragon fight could not potentially happen. Meanwhile, the Great One on the top lane just looking to get a tower for himself and more XP. So in the end, this trade is still worth it for Super 6, although they do get a kill back and the on does die in the process.
See, the spiciness of Infernal... Ooh, Kurt was close with that one. He almost got the blue buff. And yeah, the spiciness of Infernal Gaming's team comp is that it's very reliable. They've got reliable picks. And these picks don't require a lot of intense skill. They just gotta make the right decisions. And sorry, now the third dragon, the mountain drake, is going to
Yeah.
go to Super 6. They've had impeccable control when it comes to objectives. They got the Rift Herald, they got all three dragons. Brilliantly
Yeah.
played by Super 6. But
One soul away from the soul itself, one dragon away from the soul. Rampage does try to respond back with the tower in the top lane, so at least that's the first tower for Super 6 going down. So Rampage will be able to get that turret gold for himself. And the goal lead, still stands at 7,000 or 8, no, 7,000, out of which 5,000 is the difference in the Vigar and the Kai'Sa, which is hilarious to see such a huge goal difference. But the Viga stuns Apollonia, I feel they could be game changing because a lot of the times it's been the High King on those stuns that have somehow won these team fights, and we can never underestimate that kind of an ability in these team fights. You can just zone out both the LeBlanc and the Pike with that cage.
yes, and we do see actually on the side of Infernal Gaming, Thresh decides to rush a Knight's Vow and has connected it to Tristana. I don't know how effective this will be, but it looks like double hooks are landing. King flashes
Oh,
out
he
to
gets
safety
stunned
and we
right
see
there.
LeBlanc getting
The
caught.
great one gets stunned but will survive those kills. Captain Kirk, that juicy fat shutdown goes to the threat of all the people. That's really bad for them. But you know what? A kill's a kill. I'll take it. And suddenly, that's going to be a small momentum advantage. Again, Super 6 losing out because the big chunkiest dude on that Thresh is able to get himself a nice pickup, and that could potentially be the mid lane tower going down. Apollonia suddenly from 7k gold behind Infernal get themselves a magical fight, get themselves a kill, and get themselves a mid lane tower. And another chunk onto the the inner mid lane, which is not bad at all for them.
That's a mad thing. Oh, Infernal Gaming, they feel the fire right now surging through their veins, even though they're from the air clan,
Yeah, but their name is Infernal, no? So they do have fire in their name and fire in their hearts as a look to make a classic comeback happen. I don't know really, but let's see if they're able to do it. But I still feel Super Six has this in the bag, but we'll have to wait and see because mistakes like these, right, is what allows teams to come back. And when you get your Olaf, your Veigar, your Tristana to scale like this, your Mordekaiser who's very close to building an Morello Nomicon that will make the Mundo a bit useless too, will be really helpful, useful for them. So it feels like Infernal Gaming Apollonia have shown glimpses of how they are a great team and they can make plays happen. Overall, however, it has been Super 6 with a better macro, better rotations, slight mistakes on their own side that they probably need to fix, but otherwise still a lot of control going over to Super 6. But Baron control now being sieged again by Infernal Gaming, so they know that the Baron play will be the next call. Who will respond to the Mundo in the bot lane is the question because the only teleport available is on the Veigar, and he has to go bot, and then LeBlanc's also hovering around that. It's going to be the Tristana, surprisingly, who's going to go and do that. So that's a teleport advantage right there for 6.
I think we kind of put Super 6 on a pedestal. We keep thinking that they're gonna execute perfection and flawlessness, but we also kind of forget that these that three new members, along with Cat Kirk and the Great One, they are new and they're still trying to figure things out. So as of now, it looks like they're carrying out their plans pretty well, but there are a few like slip ups and everything, and I don't think they were expecting how Olaf actually recovered from his very slow
Oh,
start.
you see another fight happening. Kachik again. That's twice in a row that he's sort of gotten caught. Blows his flash, and Red Corsair honestly has been at the forefront of these engages. Has built himself a righteous glory to just be able to jump at them, and I really like the initiative shown here by Infernal Gaming, even when behind 7k gold. And this is what I love about every Bangladeshi team out there. They're not afraid to fight. Even if they're 10k goal behind, in certain cases it works out horribly. A flash has to be blown back, so Kaka doing really well to get that. But I just feel like, a team that's not afraid to fight is generally a team that can learn to to learn the most because they find these abilities too well. Meanwhile, though, the goal lead was 7,000. Now it's around 6,000. So in the last 4 minutes, it's actually gone in favor of Infernal Gaming. And the more the game progresses, the goal leads mean less because once you are caught in a Veigar cage, you're pretty much dead. That is why I love the pickup from Kirk. Already getting a QSS for the Thresh Q, or for the Mordekaiser ultimate, or for the Veigar cage. So that's a very, very crucial pickup because he's going to be the person that needs to die on Super 6 right now. And he has a QSS to help himself not die. That's going to be good for him.
Yeah, Infernal Gaming is just delaying the plans coming out from Super
But the
6.
fourth soul, the most pivotal soul in the world, the mountain soul, which gives you a 250 plus shield every time a lot of combat is spawning. Apollonia and Red Corsair on the top side. He might not make it for this jungle. Oh, you know what? It might be. This could be the explosive fight that we're looking for. And you can see already the control is in the side of Super 6, but there is a ward that does point to the fact that the dragon is happening. So you could see a crazy fight happening, and I feel that even if Super 6 lose that, as long as they get the soul, that's still worth it. And it started already. This is the opportunity. Can Mordekaiser just look to ultimate the jungler so he can survive? And you can see Red Corsair going in 1v4 and dying. Where is his team? Where is the coordination? It's just not there. And suddenly, a horrible team fight being played out from the side of Infernal Gaming. And Super Series just happily take the 4th Dragon and the 4th Soul, get 2 kills to themselves and just rush towards Baron.
Wow, Olaf goes down, followed by Mordekaiser. That's not good. 4th Dragon for Super 6. That's great. I think now they're going to look to close down Infernal Gaming and just take this victory for themselves. They're on Baron. Baron's health is going down, but is Infernal Gaming going to respawn? We have no clue, but I think it's actually going to be a successful Baron for Super 6. We can see the Great One. He is watching the flanks, and that is Baron Nashor for Super 6.
That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Once they killed the jungler and the top laner, they literally knew that there's nothing else that they can do, and they get themselves a Baron. Again, Super 6 being very clean and definitely showing by far why they are the better team on the day, because they had the better rotations, they had the better gameplay, and they knew when to play what at that time, and they have themselves the better players, I feel, because that bottling gap is still massive. The gold lead has just exponentially increased to around 6,000 and 6,500 right now, so that's nearly a 2-item advantage. Veigar has not even completed his 2nd item at this point, and Kaisa has finished 3.5 items for herself, almost onto a 4th. So this is just going from bad to worse, and even with this goal lead, I don't think Super 6 are gonna lose any team fight moving forward. It looks like this is gonna be the end for Infernal Gaming. Valiantly played, an effort to be considered, Apollonia, but do you feel anything can happen at this point? It looks like it's gonna be over soon.
I'm still in awe because I felt that both the junglers from both teams played extremely well. How did Kachik make an on-jungle work with all that control? I have no clue. How did Olaf continue to build his items and maintain his strength and get such good opportunities for kills? I have no clue. But then we do see Mordekaiser trying to fight Mundo, but it's just a battle of juggernauts eating away slowly at each other's HP.
At this point, I feel the Mordekaiser might not even have enough damage because the shield, the Mountain Soul shield hurts so much. Yes, Rampage, you have eaten now. Is this the potential? Conqueror stat means a lot of healing. He chooses to Zonya for whatever reason. Does not even land his Q, and that's just going to be a solo kill. This is too much damage on this guy. Nasuran just walks and lets his W and his Sunfire kill off Rampage, and that just is the end. I feel like it's just a matter of time before Asuran and the 3-1-1 split from Super 6 will give them the inhibitor turrets as well.
I feel that Mordekaiser should learn from Elsa and just let it go. Like, let that tower go. There's no reason to defend it. Sometimes we get so caught up in defending. That was an unneeded death, I feel, from Rampage, but the Mundo, he's just too strong right now. The Spirit Visage, or that Emma, the increased healing, that's mad. Super 6, they want to close this down. We see the Blanc cheekily staying in their base by herself. She's mobile. That's
there's going to be a gank happening, and Olaf just rushes. There's going to be a flash play, and they get a kill back. And here comes On with the ultimate. Does land to 3 people, and Shiki doing his absolute best. Valiant effort nonetheless, but it's gonna be Super 6 who get themselves a 4-0. The Mordekaiser is already dead. This is gonna be game Apollonia.
Wow, I felt that Vega's positioning was definitely a little bit sus, but they didn't have the tower as well. They didn't have that extra defense. This was a tough game, but they stuck it out for a good amount of time. They did slow down Super 6 their usual quick pace. So I like that about Infernal Gaming. It was a really good try coming out from them. GG, well played. Definitely a team that I will be keeping my eye on Good job, Infernal Gaming. I think GG well played too. Super 6.
Definitely good glimpses for Infernal Gaming, but it's Super 6 who have come again with a 3-0 in their three matches, and honestly all three of them have been extremely convincing wins for them, definitely showing why they are the strongest team of their respective seeds, and they will get themselves a victory which puts the Mountain Clan 6-0, unbeaten record so far. And when you look at the damage dealt this game, it's gonna be the Kaisa and the LeBlanc, like we discussed, who have the highest damage. On the other side was Tristana, who dealt a lot of damage on their side as well. But I think that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the rival South Asian Championship powered by LG UltraGear, Zotac, and Act Fibernet. I hope you had a great time watching this game. And Apollonia, you have any final words for our viewers?
Hmm. Let's see. Don't forget to subscribe. Well,
Definitely.
yeah, we just like to thank the viewers. You guys are very interactive in chat. It's great, and I look forward to all these games that are to come. You know, these battles from all the different elemental clans. It is exciting. I never knew Infernal Gaming packed such a punch. It was an interesting team composition. Definitely, you know, they're thinking of their own kind of strategy, and that's great to see come out of teams that we don't normally look at so often. And I think Super Six for putting up a great performance as well. I think that's all. Yeah, it was a great game.
Alright, guys. Well played. We'll see you guys tomorrow with number one seeds will face off against each other. This is the main finale, not really, but one of the main matches to watch for either team. So make sure you stay tuned at 7 p.m. ICC tomorrow on the Esports Club's YouTube and Facebook channels. But for today, it's up to us. It's a goodbye, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.